Hey everyone, the Wagon Wheel of Wisdom here. Please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell notifications down below if you haven't already. Hey folks, Kevin here. We're back at the Wagon Wheel of Wisdom. Behind me, as usual, the beautiful wagon wheel, and hopefully a little wisdom up here. Got a topic today. I'm going to talk about letting go of judgments, and this is based on a personal experience just last night. And I just want to preface this by saying everything is going to be okay, and accepting the reality that we're currently in as is and being completely okay with it. And I just want to say, to some of you out there that might be worried about the looping aspect and constantly thinking about your former partner, I'll just be completely vulnerable here. I miss her. There are days that I really struggle because I genuinely miss her. It's just the way this is going to go. If you didn't miss them, I would think something is genuinely wrong with you. And that's no joke. And I don't mean to sound like a jerk by saying that, but to me that's the truth. Because how could you not miss the one thing that you are absolutely looking for your entire life? It's impossible, right? But what I'm getting at here is this. Let's just for a second step away from that yearning and longing for them and sit in this aspect of letting go of judgment, of thinking that somehow we were wronged, they were taken away from us, just a negative mindset, and just accepting this as it has to happen, it needed to happen, and it's going to be for the benefit for all of you, for all of us, myself included. And I wanted to read something here out of this book, and it's about letting go of judgment, and it's an old Chinese proverb. And it starts out here with this. There's a Chinese allegory known as the old man from the border loses a horse, which has often been repeated and adapted in the West. During the Han Dynasty, an old man named Sai Wang lived near the border, and I apologize if I just screwed that name up, but and one day he lost his horse. His neighbors sympathized and said, "This is very bad luck." But Sai Wang said, "Maybe losing my horse is not so bad after all." The next day the horse returned with a beautiful mare. The neighbors said this was good luck, but Sai Wang said, "Maybe this is not such good luck after all." His grown-up son loved the mare and rode her every day. One day she was startled by a wild animal and threw him from her back. He broke his leg, the son did, and couldn't walk. The neighbors said, "What bad luck," but the old man said, "Maybe this is not such bad luck after all." Then war broke out, and the emperor's army passed through the border region, recruiting all the young men who were able to fight. Sai Wang's son was of no use to them, so they left him in the village to work on the farm with his father. The son didn't have to go to war because he broke his leg. Sai Wang said, "Being thrown from the horse saved my son from almost certain death in the war." So it all worked out in the end. And that's what I'm getting at. And let me just talk about my experience last night. So I read that portion of this book 2 nights ago, and I even said to myself, Jesus, what happens if I get injured? What am I going to do? Well, guess what happened last night? So as I said, I'm working security for a company here in downtown Madison for all of the concert events and things like that. And there was a group meeting last night to play some kickball. And I think you guys see where I'm going with this already. So here I am, 46-year-old Kevin, out there playing with a lot of younger people. And the first 3 times I was up to bat went great. The last time I was up to bat, not so great. I went to kick, I planted, and then all of a sudden I felt it pop right in my right quad. Just a pop. Muscles torn, muscles pulled, probably torn. I haven't gone and gotten an MRI, and I'm not going to, but the pain was excruciating. So I had to have one of the bigger fellas that helps me with security. He helped me over to the bench, and I sat down. And at that moment, I am sitting there just like, the pain was intense. That's all I can say. So intense, in fact, that I could feel endorphins kicking in. And for any of you that have ever been through, a serious injury, when they kick in, or at least for me, nauseous feeling and lightheadedness. So I'm sitting there, and there was a woman to my left just sitting there with me. And the next thing I remember is I hear, Kevin, come back. Kevin, Kevin, come back, come back. And while I could hear this voice in the side of my head, I couldn't focus. The Rolodex of my life, and I don't know what a near-death experience is like, but I could see fragments of my life just passing at rapid speed in front of my eyes. And I could still not focus or even know where I was at. And the weird thing was, I kept saying to myself in my head, I think 3 or 4 times, oh my God, I just died. Oh my God, I just died. Oh my God, I just died. And then it was total peace. Absolute serenity. The visualizations were still there. And then finally I came out of it. Finally I came out of it. I'm laying on the ground. I could see one woman up in front of me. I was leaning on the other woman who was sitting next to me, and she goes, "Hey, you here? Are you here?" And I just kind of shook my head. I said, yeah, I'm back. What the hell happened? And she goes, "Well, you passed out." So after the endorphins had kicked in, apparently for about a minute, I was gone somewhere else. And I tell you, like, I haven't felt that peaceful in a long time. So they sat me up on the bench again. That dizzy feeling was there the entire time. It's such a great group of people. I mean, they deal with this sort of thing as it is. So one of them drove me home, another person followed, and I went to bed at around 7:30 last night and slept till 7 this morning. So I was out. My quad feels horrible. I mean, it hurts. It's going to be a long road to recovery, but here's what I'm getting at. This is the second time, and back in July, I was playing softball, so apparently I need to stay off all diamonds together because we were at a softball diamond over there where I got hurt, and I broke my thumb. Diving for a catch because why wouldn't I? And ended up breaking this bone right here. 2 different games, 2 different pretty substantial injuries at this point in time. A broken thumb and now a pulled quad, which I don't know how long the rehab's going to take on that. But I sit here and wonder, what's the lesson now behind this? And that's what this whole book is about here, about that power of letting go and just accepting, especially that the story that I just told you, that Chinese allegory, is not thinking of it as, oh God, here we go again, I'm hurt again. And what I'm trying to do is equate this to how our minds work with the looping aspect and thinking of our former partner. On this journey, you guys, don't be so hard on yourself. And I went over this yesterday with how I am with myself. Don't be so hard on yourself in the moment because we might not see the bigger picture at the end of the road for what it's about. This injury, and like my thumb, well, with my thumb, I'll just give you an example. This has led me to discipline myself to now sit in front of a video camera and make these videos. I now have, I think, 100 or over 100 videos and over 1,000 subscribers in about a 2-month time frame, which to me is freaking remarkable. I have no idea how that came to be, but my broken thumb was part of the reason for that. It slowed me down to shift my focus onto something else. In the moment, I was pissed off because what the fuck, I'm hurt. What am I gonna do? Can I lift weights? I could still go lift weights. I did all of my exercises. This is gonna be a little bit different, but at the same time, I'm approaching this with what is the lesson behind the scenes. And that's what I was getting at earlier in the video about me being vulnerable, and all of you should too, and just say it's going to be okay. I know I'm going to think about my partner, and it doesn't make it a bad thing that I'm sitting here looping. What does potentially get bad is when you can't shut that inner dialogue off and it goes down that road of the negative talk. And guys, I'm guilty of this too. Feeling like a victim, they did this to me, etc., etc. Stop with those thoughts for a second and just sit with it. Bring yourself back, surrender to the moment, and just accept that there's a bigger picture at the end of this that maybe we just can't see or conceptualize yet because of the pain, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, anything like that. But just kind of dial it back. I'm trying to, in fact, this morning I was laughing my ass off about this injury, just giggling about it. Like, yeah, here we go again. Another test is how I'm approaching it. Another test. And you know what? Had I not read this in that book a couple nights ago, I probably would have been in a totally different mindset. But it's like it almost prepared me for it. I sat there and asked myself, what would I do if I injured myself? And the universe answered, bam, you're injured. Just the way it's going to go. And I guess be careful with your thoughts. So here we are, rehab event number 2 for me. It's going to slow me down quite a bit. I don't know yet what it's going to lead me into, but I have an idea that it's going to be something great at the end of it that I just don't see in the present moment. So just wanted to get that video out to you today. You know, I'd love to say that this sucks, but you know what? It doesn't. Like, it oddly feels like it was supposed to happen. Now, it's going to jack me up for a while. I'm a very athletic and mobile person as it is. I like to get out and walk. But maybe in the same context, it's just something to, again, prove to myself that when I discipline myself, I can maybe heal faster than somebody else would. I don't know. I don't know what the message here is, but I tell you, the one feeling that I just can't get away from was the feeling of just total inner peace there for a little while. All the thoughts of my ex gone, all of the pain and agony of that relationship gone, nothing but actual positive, good feelings. And I just under the belief that that's where this is going. And maybe that was just a taste of it, to really feel like in that moment to truly unconditionally love myself, because I wasn't mad. In fact, I felt loved by all of the people there that were there helping me out. And they all were. I shouldn't say never, but it's been a hot minute to be around that many people that were that caring. I mean, they had 911 on the phone and the ambulance was coming. I declined it because I could feel myself coming back and just, and my vitals were good. They checked my pulse. The people that were there at Kickball checked my pulse and everything, and it was good to go. So, just try not to let the things that we perceive to be negative things be negative things, because if we sit there and think they are, they're going to turn and snowball into negative things. Do what they do in this book. Perhaps it's not such a negative thing. Or if it's a positive thing, maybe it isn't such a positive thing. Let's weigh both options here. So hope you guys have a good day. I'll keep you updated on the healing process as this goes. And I've got emotional and physical healing to do once again, but that's life, man. That's the way it goes sometimes. So love you guys.